Hello, 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 and welcome back to another show, guys, of TNO. Kubus, say hello.
Hello, your weekly vitamin T is brought to you by Claudio and Corbett.
Yes, for all supplements, but most importantly, the most significant supplements to keep you safe and healthy, the vitamin T.
Day 9 of lockdown in South Africa, and luckily Claudio is here to keep me sane and to chat to me a bit about Survivor and Winners at War. Episode 8, I believe already. Sure, time flying.
Dum. It's coming down. It's going. We're already at the merge. We've already seen the first person from the island of extinction make his way back into the game.
Yeah, man, and what a comeback it was. I mean, yeah, it was quite a nail biter there between Boston Rob and Tony, Tyson. But Claudio, luckily Tony didn't get the boot like we thought he might this week, and we saw some classic Tony again. I was so flipping entertained. I like Tony so much.
You're a Tony fan. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. Anyway, Tony was saying prices on the island went up quite a bit. I don't know if you've noticed. It's 5 fire tokens for a bag of rice. So
it's almost like the South African currency.
Yeah, man. Island,
it's like 20 rand for $1 or something.
Yes, man. So yeah, but the island, at least we're not alone, man. The island inflation also seems to be a bit of a bitch. Yeah, no. So yeah, maybe investing in fire tokens isn't the best idea. You should maybe spend them when you've got the opportunity. Any case, Claudio, your Golden Spear nominations for this week. Hit me.
So the Golden Spear candidate's an interesting one, Quibus. We've got a couple of names that I want to throw out, but before we throw out any names, I've got to tell you why I'm here for Survivor Winners at War, and it's got to be this lady on my right, left, I don't know, whatever. It's got to be Poverty. I mean, it was so cinematic. It is beautiful. It felt like I was watching Karate Kid all over again. Poverty doing the praying mantis, flying dragon, squat, I don't know, whatever you want to call that, into the challenge, getting really psyched up. You had Boston Rob telling us how if he wins this challenge, how important it is. He can go on all the way to the end. And then you have good old Tyson just doing the Rocky look in the corner with his headband down. It was so beautiful. I don't know what you thought about that.
No, that was quite cool. Seeing them, doing the whole lead up to the challenge. Yeah. And the challenge as well, it was pretty, because it was such a nail biter. And I told you that Rob was going to tell Amber about his fire tokens.
Well, Amber's the one who gave him her fire token to get the advantage.
But he said so that he can still use the other 3. So he must have told her. But in any case.
Yeah, I think there would be troubles at home if he hadn't told her. Imagine watching this over again, the two of them on the couch being like, Rob, is there something you wanted to tell me? Like, no.
Claudio, just one thing, man. Will Christy allow you to give her a kiss after you haven't been brushing your teeth for 19 days on an island?
I think the correct question is, would I kiss her without brushing her teeth? She's not bothered by that. It's me. I've got issues with keeping my teeth clean.
19 days and you see Rob and Amber exchanging kisses there on the island. I'm glad they're... It seems they are doing well. Their relationship is...
It's true love. It's what the standard was when they met each other, and it's how they're just keeping that standard rolling throughout. They probably don't even wash their teeth when they're at home, to be honest.
Any case, continue with the Spear nomination.
Golden Spear. All right. There are a couple of candidates. I mean, I've got the peanut butter. We spoke about this. The peanut butter came in hand. It gave him the strength. It gave him endurance. Tyson, doubting whether or not he should be on this show. He came through, and the best moment for me is when he won the celebration. It really felt like, because of the build-up to that moment, it felt like I was watching Liverpool lift the league title. I mean, it was the substitute I was having because Liverpool aren't doing that anytime soon. But yeah, that's what it felt like. It was just such a great cinematic moment. So that's my first one. I don't know what you think about. Who else do you want to nominate?
Well, obviously, yeah, Tyson was a core candidate or a obvious candidate, but I think I would have to nominate the lady here on my right hand side
What?
who
You
drove
don't
the
get to
car.
nominate her, Covers. I only nominate her. You never ever get to
I'm
nominate her.
stealing her. I'm
You just
stealing her from you. She's your favorite Golden Spear nominee. But any case, so yeah, I have to
Also,
nominate.
what's happening over your shoulder there? She driving the bus is
Well, that's the scene from Speed, if you remember correctly.
Oh yes, yeah. And please elaborate. What's going on there, Covers?
So Keanu Reeves is supposed to be driving the bus, but he's not
Yeah.
driving the bus. They think he's
Mhm.
driving the bus, but actually it was the lady, the girl. What Sandra? I think it
Mhm.
was Sandra Bullock still. That anyway.
Yeah, it was Sandra Bullock.
Any case, but now it's
Mhm.
Sophie. So
Sophie
Jeremy,
driving the bus.
yeah,
Do do
Jeremy
all
thought,
aboard. Oh, that's a train. Never mind. My bad. Move on.
Jeremy thought the survivor bus was gonna make a stop at Adamville, and they did actually made a stop at Wendleton.
All right, just saying, Sophie.
Okay, yes. So I think Sophie, but actually, Claudio, in effect, what I call the Lioness Alliance. So I think
Mhm.
the Lioness Alliance is being underestimated, indeed, and that is Michelle, Sarah, Sophie, and Denise and Kim. I think they are making an all-female alliance. We just haven't seen it yet. I think so. Any case,
That's a bold prediction.
I know that it is a bold prediction, but I noticed something was brewing when I saw them like braiding Sophie's hair. All the girls there sticking together. Watch out! It's coming, man. I'm telling you.
Oh wow.
But any
That's
case,
that's quite an observation. I did not pick that up at all. I picked up Tyson and Jeremy talking about Wendell's chest hair. That's what I picked up.
yeah, that was quite funny as well. Uh,
Okay.
that
So you're saying Sophie because why? Ultimately, what are your reasons?
Sophie, because she 100% like swung the vote to what who she wanted to vote out from the get go. I mean, and
Again,
it was a clean slate. I mean, the only people left out of the vote was Jeremy, Wendell, and Nick, who didn't know which way the vote was
Michelle?
going. And even though Jeremy, I mean, he had a lot of power, he had the immunity necklace. Um, in spite of that, um, he wasn't able to swing the vote to go his way. He thought
Mm-hmm.
he was like really pushing for it to get Adam out, and actually Sophie, I mean, and she looked like she was really having a tough time on the island, and she managed to pull all the strings, boom, to get
Yeah.
Wendell out.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's a good assessment. I think the other person you got to mention to some degree is the man who's or standing behind the bus driver, Jeremy. Um, apart from not saving the man he wanted to save, I mean, Wendell, there was a real bromance thing going on there. He really wanted him. He was even trying to get rid of Nick just so that could happen. But he does well in the challenge. In the end, it allows him to make some moves, allows him to move around a little bit. And at the end of the day, he didn't get what he wanted at Tribal Council, but was still in the game because of that immunity necklace and that challenge. I mean, no one else, the conditions were dreadful. You saw them. I mean, you saw Nick's toes. They looked like they were falling off.
yes, man. I must admit that is one challenge I think I will have a real tough time with if I ever got the opportunity to compete
Yeah.
in
I
challenges
mean,
of
you had
mine.
heights. You had heights. You had slippery conditions. You had nothing to hold on to. And I
Yes.
mean, you saw Adam's face. I'm scared. I'm scared. I mean, you saw all of that shit happen. And then you saw Michelle's tumble. It looked like a hard fall.
Yeah. Michelle took quite a bad fall actually. I think she could have easily gotten hurt quite badly, but luckily she didn't. Or it seems like she's fine. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
So,
it really that challenge gets to you. So kudos for Jeremy, who's quite like a big guy, and because he's quite big, you're heavy. And I think it makes it more, it's for bigger people, that is more of a challenge because you are heavier and you've got to, hang on to a very tiny ledge there. So that is quite a cool challenge for him to win. But he's a firefighter, I mean, so they've got to be.
So technically,
I
should be able to climbing, hanging. But he used his toes though. No one else was using his toes. Like he dug his toe in there. Anyway, let's move along. So he does well in the challenge. I think another person we've got to mention just for the challenge sake is Denise. I think the whole conversation in terms of awarding a woman and a man an immunity idol, I think that's an interesting one. I don't think that happens often. What do you think?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen often. But I think it was a cool twist. I liked seeing the double immunity. That was cool to see. And I must also give kudos to Denise. I mean, she's quite the beast, clinging on to that pole for so long. And I must say, you also saw it, but she's quite fit for her age. I don't know exactly how old she is, but I mean, like you can see from
Travis, we never discuss the age of a woman on our show ever.
But in any case, no, she's quite strong, good physical condition. Obviously, and she's building her resume with axing the queen, being labeled the Queen Slayer as well, and she's won. So she's doing well in immunities. So it's she's someone to look out for, and she's part of the Lioness Alliance. So
but apart from that, though, I think the vote in the end was quite a predictable vote from a perspective where it was going one or two ways. There were no twists. There were no there wasn't too much scrambling, even though that's what the players said there was. So I think if we've got to look holistically and see who else, unless you've got other candidates that you want to mention before we get to the conclusion.
No. I think our Golden Spear award is going to be unanimous this episode.
Okay, we're going to try and say the name at the same time on 3, 2, 1.
Sophie.
Sandra. Sandra's decision to quit Exile Island. I mean, dude, she was not going to win that challenge. And, that's the same challenge they had on the previous Exile Island. Exactly the same challenge. So she knew. She knew. Sandra, well done. You get the Golden Spear of the Week, in my opinion.
Oh, man. You're just such a sucker for Sandra.
All right, let's move on. Okay. Travis,
Wooden spoon.
Let's discuss wooden spoon. Quack, quack, quack.
Island idiot who did the stupidest thing. So I would say this week, my wooden spoon nominations can be no other than Wendell, Nick, and Jeremy. I mean, for not seeing things coming, for not doing enough groundwork before tribal council, and getting one of their, court people sent home, and they think they convinced everyone to vote out Adam. In the meantime, boom, Adam survives another tribal council, and Wendell goes to the edge of extinction.
I love what Adam said though when he was a tribal. He's like, "Look, I know this is coming, but do you?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, Adam, your ears to the ground, my friend. You know what's going on."
Yeah, I mean, but to some extent, I must say, if I were in Adam's position, I would have been nervous, man. So that was, I mean,
but the thing about Adam is, it's an interesting spot to be in. He's getting this bipolar edit. Some might say he's getting the winner's edit because every time you think he's not going to survive, he's still in the game somehow. You have that moment where the Cyclone is like, "Welcome to Survivor. This is the game I play, everybody." Blah, blah, blah. And the next one, he's crying. It's like, I'm scared. I don't want to go home. And you're like, he's all over the place. So it's super entertaining to watch. But at the same time, I think his position at the moment, the fact that he's on the edge every time, he's not considered as a big threat. They want to get rid of him. They understand he's slimy, but they're keeping him in the arts. And what I know is when that happens, there's always a chance for someone like that in the game because someone's going to call you at some time. It's like you that dude who's just ready for a party at any time. You can party with anyone. So when someone's bored and they call their best mate and you're like, "Go, let's go for a party," and you tell me, "Yo, Claudia, I'm not keen. I'm tired tonight." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Well, let me go call Adam." What happens? Me and Adam go out. We meet some people, and then guess what happens? We form a bigger group, and next time we don't invite you. And that's kind of where Adam is at the moment.
That is a very interesting assessment that you've got going there for Adam's game, Claudia. But I do enjoy that one. But yeah, Tony labels him one of the hyenas or the low-profile players. Saying the high-profile guys are Tyson, Tony, Ben, and who's the other one? He's slipping my mind now. But in any case,
Tyson.
Yeah, no, I think I mentioned
Tyson.
But in any case, your four top dogs. He's calling them the Lions, and the Lions Alliance. it's got
also the whole safari analogy, Quibus. They keep mentioning the hyenas and the lions. I'm like, did you guys not watch? You clearly didn't watch Survivor South Africa season 7 of the Jacques. I mean, he's already used these. You guys are a bit old.
Yeah,
it's a bit old.
But in any case, wooden spoon. Claudio, do you think there's anyone else that you would put on the list for wooden spoon?
I think Denise needs to get a shout out. She plays into what Tony was saying in the previous episode, saying, "You know what? I'm going to tell everybody you slayed the queen, and because you slayed the queen, you became this big target." So she decides to take the route that she's just going to come out with it and say it, right? And she tells everyone. And the reaction is taken in the same way that everyone would take it. Be like, "Oh shit, she's building a resume." And immediately I'm going, "Oh, I don't know if that was a good idea." It was, but now at the same time, it's interesting because if you're looking around and you're saying, "Okay, Tony, you got Tony, Ben, Jeremy, and Tyson, the Lion Alliance. You got these guys that were trying to keep big names." Now that she's kind of playing that up a little bit, you kind of think, okay, well, they don't really want to get her out because they know she's fixed somewhere. She's not going to be flipping like an Adam.
Claudio, but I also thought about that. And then I thought, well, she didn't really have an option not to tell the story about her voting or getting rid of Sandra, because someone else would have told the story in any case. So I think she just decided to own up and, put it out there and see what reaction she got.
I mean, there are pros and cons to both. I mean, the pro is that you're coming out up front with it. You're coming out that people know exactly this woman's telling the truth. At somewhere along the line when they're going to have a one-on-one with them, they're going to buy into more into what she's giving. But at the same time, it also comes off like she's got a chip on her shoulder saying that. Like, yeah, I took her out. This is what I did, and I'm pretty cool now. Like someone mentioned saying it was like a Western story talking about the biggest gunslinger. That's what it sounded like. But at the same time, if she doesn't do that and she pulls you aside, or she pulls people aside and she starts having the conversation like that, not only then does it feel like you're not just giving a broadcasting statement, you are literally having a one-on-one conversation and you're divulging the secret to someone else. And then they naturally then become more attached to you because it's something you told them as opposed to telling everyone. So that's the other option.
Yeah, but I think, it's like you say. I mean, she chose an interesting time to tell the story at the merge feast while everyone is listening and all the eyes were on her. And then Sophie said, "Okay, it was like she was telling old war stories." So it was definitely an interesting choice. I'm not sure how I would have gone about it, but if I were in that position, But I think, it's a cool position to be in, and she had nothing to lose because she was not a risk to get voted off at all. So. Any case,
but it definitely was like a giant feast, Game of Thrones vibe where the kings were talking about their great battle victories. That's what it came across as. But I know we touched on Jeremy's performance for the challenge, which was great. But another downfall to his game, obviously, was we know he was close with Wendell because Wendell says it up front. They had a relationship prior to the game, right? We know that. The problem is they don't hide it. They don't hide it. And the person there with one of the highest self-awareness, social awareness skills there. Sophie picks up on it immediately, and she goes, I see Jeremy. I see him playing with the lions. He thinks he's got the biggest mane. I don't like that because I'm like, what did you say? Did you say lioness? Is that lioness?
Yes.
Yeah, lioness. And we all know the lionesses do all the work, right? The big lions just sleep around until they eat. That's what happens. So Sophie's like, no, screw this. I'm going to keep going at work and I'm going to make people see the big mane that this guy actually has.
Yeah, and Claudio, I was surprised at how accurate Sophie was with her analogy or her what would you call it? The scenario that she imagined took place in her head, like saying, okay, so she sees things, Jeremy and Tony and Tyson and them are all contemplating this thing, and I mean, she was actually spot on with the guesswork that she did. So another reason for her getting the golden spear. Any case, back to Wooden Spoon. Are there any other candidates on your list apart from, let's say, Wendell?
I mean, we can mention Michelle because she was really high up and she could see she wasn't going to hold herself, and she just let go and she fell, so she nearly injured herself. But apart from that, I think you've touched on Wendell, you've mentioned Wendell, but why Wendell needs to get thrown out here, and is because all of a sudden he sees his friend, same thing as Jeremy. He gets blinded by that. He gets blinded by that security it's offering. Instead of going, I mean, this is a great relationship to have to keep undercover. Let me try and work other options. Let me try and work other angles. And he doesn't. He falls into the security. It's because the season he won with Dom, he had his ride or die. Everything he did, he played through one person. So now he's trying to, the relationship he has with Michelle allows him to have that security, but it's not in the same sense. So when he sees Jeremy, he's going, this is my Dom. This is how I'm going to play. Instead of going, cool, I've got my Dom. Let me keep it under the cards a little bit. And let me start trying to see if I can make other moves. And he doesn't do that.
So, Claudia, can I just ask you, is that what you would do? As soon as you establish, if you're on the island, as soon as you establish a good relationship, you're going to be, okay, hey, man, I know we're super tight, but I have to work on the other people. Like, we can have our, like, inside chats and strategies and stuff, but I have to work the ground. Is that what your approach would be?
Well, let me bring out the party scenario again, right? You and I go to the same party, but we're mates. We talk once a week. Yeah, I know what you like. I know you're chatting up that chick in Cape Town. You know that I'm dating Christy. You know, we know all these things about each other already. So if we're going to the party, I'm not going to be sitting in the corner with you talking about these things all day because people already know we're friends, right? No, I want to be making new friendships. So am I going to sit next to you making new friendships? No, I'm going to go out there and make new friendships. So that's exactly how I do it, because I trust you already. So why spend more time in investing in something when I already know if I tell you, Kobus, let's leave this party because so-and-so actually said something shitty about you, it's duck. You're going to take my word for it and we're going to bounce. So that's the thing. I wouldn't be wasting time. Sure, like sometimes you get carried away because the weather conditions are shit and you're lonely and you want to pretty much uplift one another. But that's not the way to go about it, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Fair metaphor, your party metaphor. But
bro, I'm a party goer. Socialite.
Who here parties the most? Anyway, so Claudio, just one more thing before we let's award our Wooden Spoon, and then we can move on, discuss other ideas. Wooden Spoon, I think it's number 2 for this character. But in any case,
no, wait. Are we going to show the people like the level of trust that we have and the same wavelength we are? We need to keep this going.
Yes.
I think I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to have to say who we think deserves the Wooden Spoon.
I'll go with the first syllable, and you can go with the second syllable.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. I had to think about that. Okay. Syllables aren't my thing. All right.
Okay.
So 3.
2.
So aren't you going to say 2? Yeah. Okay. Let's start. 3,
2,
1.
When?
Ick. No. Okay. Yeah. No. I think Nick. I mean, Nick survives. Yeah, he survives. he survives because his reputation isn't as bad as Adam's, number one, and because he doesn't have a relationship with Jeremy. That's why he survives. He gets lucky.
Yeah, fair. He's lucky, but and yeah, actually, but I'll discuss that in the Storms Brewing section. What's about to happen, or our assessment of that. But
Okay.
but in any case, no. Claudio, I hear your motivation for Nick, but I think we should stick with Wendell for Wooden Spoon. I mean,
Okay. All right. Okay, give it to him. Just give it to him.
It's not a coincidence that Wendell and Wooden Spoon starts with the same letter.
Ooh. Getting the burns, Wendell. You're getting the burns like the edit you're getting on this season.
Yeah, you're getting the harsh edit of TNO. Okay.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wah, wah. Okay, Wendell, enjoy your Wooden Spoon. Storm is brewing.
It's quite prestigious, by the way, to get the wooden spoon. You want the wooden spoon. I mean, people talk about the wooden spoon. They don't talk about the golden spear. It's like all the people get the golden spear. You know,
you have to work for the wooden spoon. That's not like something that just happens lately. You know, like
definitely not easy come, easy go. Not at all.
You really have to work on doing something stupid and then execute. Anyway,
and being okay. Let's move on.
All right. So Storm is brewing. We saw in the edit from What Is to Come that apparently Nick wants to take revenge, and so and he's planning or contemplating, it seems, to take revenge on Sarah. Similar to what Adam similar to what Adam has done in the previous episode, contemplating that Sarah has the idol. In the meantime, Sophie has the idol. It seems like Nick is doing something similar, and he's about to, draw the short straw because of that, because he doesn't know of her Steeler vote that she still has in her pocket. So I think she's going to utilize that on him, and it's going to be entertaining to watch.
I don't think so. I don't think she's going to play the Steeler vote. There's no need. I think she'll have the numbers to do something there. I mean, think about it. His name's already been thrown out because he's at the bottom. So to rally people to go against Sarah, he's going to have to find a really good reason to get people to turn on her right now, because she's fully wedged. She's got good members around her, good allies around her. I just don't see her wasting it on a Nick. I think she can do it without a Nick. I'm telling you.
You're wasting it. Sure, man. You're really not a Nick fan.
No. I got nothing against Nick. I mean, there's nothing against Nick. I like Nick. I think what Nick does really well again, and I know I'm saying this from the social perspective, he's very in tune with the likes and dislikes and what your favorite food is and all this other stuff. I'm telling you, that's where his strength lies in this game. Not to mention he did challenge, okay? He did challenge. So I'm not discarding him from that perspective. But I do understand that you're not going to waste your shots on rabbits when you've got big games to take, when there's big game around. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
At the moment, you know, so you're not going to use a Steeler vote on a rabbit.
Okay, yeah. Cool. All right. And further, your input to Storm is Brewing, what do you think is to come?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just sitting back and getting my popcorn ready. I think as the episodes draw closer, it's going to get more exciting. But there's obviously at a later stage, closer towards like probably the top 6 or whatever it is, there's going to be that edge of extinction. So someone like Rob can still come in and win it. So that's going to be very interesting. I think the next vote the next episode is going to determine where the lines are drawn within the sand, who's partnering with who and who isn't. We know Denise right now, she's floating between everyone. She was prepared. Sorry, it's getting so excited that the words are flying out of my mouth at the same time all at once. She was prepared to get rid of Adam, who was her number 1 or day 1 ally, but like she said, not necessarily a day 39 ally or 30 ally, whatever it is. So it's going to be interesting when people start turning on each other and start feeding on each other. And I know everyone claims to be a lion. No one wants to accept that they're hyenas, but at the moment, I think they're all a bunch of hyenas.
What about Tyson, man? Is Tyson also a hyena? No, yeah.
No, Tyson's Rocky, but
Tyson's the tiger.
Yeah, Eye of the Tiger. That's what Tyson is. Nice. Yeah.
any case, yeah, no, I'm
So
also.
that's actually interesting. I mean, so Tyson has aligned himself to the bigger guys, so to speak. Tyson now is not as loud as what he's been in the past. He's going to start treading the water very, very carefully. So it's going to be interesting. What do you think? How do you think he's going to play this?
Well, I actually had a look at Tyson, what he did and who he aligned himself with. And although he is considered to be one of the Lions or high-profile players or whatever, and he's got that going with Tony and Ben and them, he also made a bit of work and actually built some. I noticed that he was interacting with Wendell and Nick as well. So it seems like Tyson is doing a good job of reintegrating himself and like he said, getting his roots into the cracks to establish himself on the island. So I think he's definitely someone to watch in the next couple of episodes.
All right, but someone we haven't spoken much about apart from falling off the pole, and someone I've been pretty much rooting for, largely because of how she plays the game and because a lot of people are anti her because of how she's won in the past, is Michelle. What happens with Michelle moving forward in the scenario? And Nick, I mean, now that you got her ally, Nick, who's trying to gun someone like Sarah. You mentioned an all-female thing going on, didn't you?
I think probably what's happening is Nick goes to Michelle. Well, this is wild guesswork, Claudia. But Nick's going to Michelle and he's saying, Michelle, okay, so who got rid of Wendell? I want to take, that's the person I want to take out. And then Michelle says, okay, no, it was Sandra and Sophie and Sarah and Sophie. And basically he's gunning.
Yeah.
Now Nick is gunning for them. But Michelle is probably going to go with the Lioness Alliance or with the all-female alliance. I mean, they've got the numbers. Why will she stick with Nick? And I think that's her way of getting herself further in the game, which it's a good approach.
I think, though, if a Nick goes, then she gets put in the spotlight. He's the shiny white rabbit at the moment. She's the black rabbit. She's hiding in the dark. They can all see the white rabbit. I think as soon as the white rabbit goes, the black rabbit's going to come to the foreground. So I don't know if that necessarily has to happen, but it's an interesting concept when we're talking about the Lioness Alliance, which is something you're dubbing right now. But if you're going to talk about a real leader of that alliance, I mean, we've got the Denise is an obvious champion because she's got all the toolways and all the tools and whatever. But Kim Sprelin right now, she's the real lioness just waiting to pounce at the right moment. So if there's someone who's going to be driving something like that, I'd probably think it would be her.
Okay. I will definitely make sure to keep an eye on her in the next episode. They didn't show much of her in this specific episode. So,
yeah. So I mean, that means one or two things, though. That means one or two things. That means she's either going to get down to the last crunching numbers of the 5-6, and it's going to be all Kim Spradlin, or it's going to be one of those where she's going to fizzle out. But right now, we're not seeing much of her. So where's the story going with her?
Exactly, but also once again, it's a lot of things depends on who wins immunity and what takes place after that. But so we'll have to wait and see. Claudio, any closing remarks from your side?
Yes, guys. Clovis is super cool, by the way. I've been trying to get him to chat to this girl who's in Cape Town. He hasn't met her yet, but I was trying to explain to him that, it is lockdown. So this is the perfect time to start chatting to someone if you're ever going to do it. And how many people do you meet via Skype call? So if you guys think that's a good idea, please tell Clovis to do it because I'm trying to get him to do it.
I'm more of a in-person person, so I prefer to meet someone face to face. In any case, watching the episode until this stage where we dive into my personal life.
Let's be honest. I think only 1.3% of people make it this far anyway.
Exactly. Precisely.
Yeah. But anyway, You
Yes.
guys can find us on the social media streets and the Twitter. My handle is up there. I mean, you can see Poverty's pointing up there. She's telling you guys, she's focusing on getting you guys to talk to me via Twitter or Instagram, whatever you really want to. And then Kobus.
Yeah, over here, if you want to tweet me or send me a message, go for it.
Yeah. Cool. And that's about it. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face unless you really have to. Don't forget to wash in the nether regions, just because that's good hygiene.
Y'all keep it clean. All right. Thank you for watching.
Keep it clean, folks. Keep it clean.
See you next week.
Peace.